Step number 2 of creating your YouTube presence that's going to generate those hot sales leads from your local market is that you have to start thinking in terms of your library of videos. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I just want to take a few minutes to really emphasize this, because I think one of the main reasons people kind of give up on this YouTube channel idea is it's so discouraging when you first get started. Because again, many times if you're not careful, you'll be thinking in terms of social media. If I make a tweet on Twitter and no one retweets it, nobody likes it, nobody clicks on it, then I think, wow, that was not a good piece of content. And you would be right. It's not a good piece of content because you're on Twitter, okay? If I'm making my Snapchat daily story and nobody is watching it, it's gone after 24 hours on Snapchat. So if nobody's watching it, that was a total waste of my time because it's gone in 24 hours, right? If I make a Facebook post and nobody shares it, nobody comments on it, nobody interacts with it at all, there's no engagement, then that's a bad piece of content. Now, for YouTube, you have got to get your mind out of that place and understand that what you're actually building here is a long-term asset. It's a long-term thing, and you got to start thinking about your library. So in step 1, hopefully, you took some time to create some notes about what problem am I solving? What is the solution? How does the solution work? What is the specific need that I'm filling? Is there some particular emotion that the business owner has? How are they searching for this? What would be the keywords they would use to start searching? And so you're really starting to get in this mindset. You're trying to get inside the mind of your potential prospect when they actually want what you have to offer and they're going online to research it. You're trying to get kind of inside their head at that particular moment. Now you've got to start thinking of your library and understand it's a long-term commitment. Your first video is going to get 0 views the first day. It's going to get 0 views the second day. It's going to get 0 views the third day, right? Probably the second week, you get your 1 view. Now, there's some other things I'll give you in a minute that will definitely speed that process up. But my point is, this is a long-term investment and you're building a YouTube library that's going to be there for Google to search as it gets older and as it gets more views and it ranks a little bit higher, which we'll talk about some strategies specifically for that. But step number 2 is I need you to start getting in a mental place to say I'm ready to create my YouTube library. And once you're kind of in that frame of mind, now we're ready to start getting tactical and move on to step number 3. Step number 3 is to set a clear call to action. Now, this is extremely important, and so I want to talk to you about it because there's several different options that you have for a call to action. Now, you say, what in the world is a call to action? This is so vital and so important. Now, again, it's so different from other social networks, so I like to kind of draw kind of a parallel and kind of show you how different it is when you go along this path of content creation. On Facebook, you really don't even have a call to action for most of your posts. Same thing with Twitter, the post is about engagement. And so it's not like you're saying at the end of the tweet, like every tweet at the end, you're like, call me, or click this link to sign up now. You know, yeah, you might do a couple of those here and there, but mainly you're just trying to engage with people so that you can have conversations with them and develop that relationship. And so social media sites are really relationship building sites. YouTube is not like that. YouTube is very, very different. Now, it can be like that, but the program I'm talking about as far as just generating hot sales leads locally for yourself, it's not like that. It just doesn't work that way. Instead, on YouTube, you need a very specific call to action. And again, remember from last step, you're building a library. It's going to be around forever, for a long, 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 long time. So you've got to come up with a call to action that you're okay with moving forward. I'll give you a great example of me doing something stupid with that, okay? When I first started my YouTube channel, my call to action was that they should email me at this particular email address. Now, the website that I had, it was actually a terrible domain name, and I knew that when I could afford to, I was going to buy a better domain name and I was going to upgrade. Well, I wasn't really thinking about that on YouTube, and I kept using this email address, using this email address, using this email address. Well, I still have about 50 videos on YouTube that give the wrong email address today, and I have had to pay to keep that other domain active just so that I can get emails from videos I made 7 years ago on YouTube, because people, it's in my library, it still comes up prominently in the search results, and so people still email me when they're interested. And so here I left it out there, hanging out there, and I never should have done that. So the idea here is you've got to think about the call to action. Now, let me give you the 3 possible calls to action that you could have that work on YouTube, and kind of talk about how those things work. The first call to action, and what I personally believe is kind of the easiest one, is a phone number. I really, really like the idea of a phone number. If you can get a 1-800 number, that's great. Again, keep in mind, once you say it on your YouTube video, you've got to keep that number. It's got to stay active. You can also, if you're new to sales, you don't invest a lot of money, you can set up a Google Voice account. Go to voice.google.com, voice.google.com, and set up a Google Voice number. Very easy, very simple, it's free, and now you have a phone number that whenever somebody calls it and leaves a voicemail, it's going to send that to your email address. They can also text you there, and it's going to go to your email address. So you can get familiarized with Google Voice. That's a great way to do it. So you can use that phone number. It can even ring right to your cell number. So again, do you really want to give your personal cell phone number out on YouTube? I don't know. It's up to you. But for me, I didn't want to do that, and so I had a separate number that I used on YouTube and said, hey, if you're interested or whatever. Now, the second thing call to action you can use is an email address, which I just talked about. Again, don't make the same mistake I did. Make sure you have the email address you're going to keep. Also, if your email address is an @gmail.com or an @yahoo.com, or, I would not recommend using an email address, because that's not as professional. You want to set up at least a basic website. You're going to use an email address so that it's, james@mycompany.com instead of james@gmail.com or james7538@gmail.com. That's just not professional, and I don't want to say that on a video. It makes my company seem like I'm nobody, I'm too small. So if you don't have your own website, don't use email. Make it a phone number instead, okay? If you do have a website, you want to get your own kind of custom domain, or if you're working in a sales office and they provide you with a company email address, definitely use your company email address. But again, keep in mind you're building a library, so you want that email address to hang around for a little while, okay? The third thing that you can do, and this is a very interesting one, if you do have a website, keep in mind that you can actually create on the video, you can create what's called an annotation. An annotation. Now, an annotation is basically just a box that comes up on the screen on your video, and the box has different things in it. It can have text. For instance, let's say I'm telling you something on my YouTube video. I can make a box come up with information about that. It can also be a link to your website. You can only have one website link, but you can set that up. It's a link you can set up, and you can literally have a box that they click on to link out to your website. Also, in the description of the video, which we'll talk more about in a little bit, you can actually put a link to your website in the description. I like to put mine right at the beginning. Click http://www.mycompany.com to get more information about whatever. So you can put that right there in the description. That's also really, really powerful. So first of all, you kind of have to discuss like the method of the next call to action. You know, how do you want them to contact you? But then you have to figure out what the call to action is. What are you asking them to do? Now, this is really, really important. You want to set the bar really low for the call to action. In other words, I wouldn't do a call to action that says, if you're interested in purchasing XYZ services, give me a call at this number, or email me, or click this link. Instead, I would say, if you're interested in learning more or have some questions you'd like to get answered, contact me at here. You see the difference in that? Let me say those again. Do not use a call to action like, if you're interested in buying my product, or if you're interested in signing up with me right now, call 800 whatever. Instead, you want to lower the bar and say, thanks so much for watching this video. If you have any questions at all, or just want to connect with me and learn more about the great services that we offer, please contact me at 800 whatever. Okay? You see the difference? Set the bar low for the call to action, because that's going to help you to generate more and more and more leads. If you set the bar real high, people are like, well, I'm really not ready to sign up. I just have more questions. So then they won't call you. And you want that call, right? They're interested. They're searching for you. They found you. You want them to call you. Absolutely. So that's really that step is really all about the call to action. How do you want them to contact you as far as specifics, and what is going to be the specific call to action? What are you asking them to do? Why should they call you? Why should they email you? Why should they visit your website? Once you've got that done, you're ready to move on to the next step. this kind of journey of creating your YouTube presence. Now, I know what most of your haven't made a YouTube video yet. Okay, okay. We're getting to that. That's step number 5. Step number 4, find your first 10 strategic partnerships on YouTube. Find your first 10 strategic partnerships on YouTube. Now, this step is really more of a research step, but it's extremely important. Again, my goal with this training is to help you get local sales leads. And so in order to do that, and in order to get more exposure on YouTube, you need to find people in your local community that already have a YouTube presence that are going to be able to partner with you and allow you to do some guest videos for them. Maybe they can do a guest video on your channel, whatever it might be. Now, this is where your creativity as a business person comes into play. And so if you really want to grow that YouTube channel fast, the best way to do it is to make a strategic partnership, okay? So what do I mean by that? Well, what you want to do is, first of all, you got to kind of figure out your geographic area, which is really important even for step 5 as well. But you need to understand your geographic area. What's the main town that people are in? In other words, where are you going to be selling primarily in terms of geography? And then make a list of the other like top 5 largest cities besides the big one, right? So, you've got, let's say you're in, Chicago, and so you have, Chicago, like that's like the main city. But then you also have, Elgin, Illinois, you have, Northwest Indiana, whatever it is, surrounding areas, right? And so you want to kind of make a list of these cities, and then you go on YouTube and just search for that city name and see who is on YouTube posting things in that city that are actually getting some YouTube views. Now, don't be surprised by the fact that there's a lot of people that maybe have 100 views or 200 views, and you're like, wow, like there's like nobody in my city doing YouTube, or who am I going to partner with? None of these people have anything. That's a good thing. That's awesome, because that means 2 things. Number 1, it means that you have a wide open market, and so you can just like hammer it, you can just kill it there because nobody else is really doing anything on YouTube in your local city. But the other thing is, strategic partnerships are going to be a lot easier because you can find 10 people that all have a couple hundred views and say, hey, let's help each other build our YouTube channel. You come do a video for me, I'll do one for you. And so you kind of get the idea, but you want to look for at least 10 people that can be strategic partners. Also, start talking to your current connections about the fact that you're launching your YouTube channel. Set a date, put a line in the sand and say, hey, I'm launching my YouTube channel on, May 1st, on April 1st, June 1st, and start letting everybody know, because as soon as you post that first video, you need to get everybody to watch that video. I'm talking about your parents, I'm talking about your siblings, your spouse. You have them watch it a couple times. Everybody, your friends, your personal Facebook friends, everybody. And what you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, I just need some feedback. I know you're not interested in what I have to offer, my services, my solutions, but I just want to get some feedback. And also, in case you know anybody that might be interested, you could share this video with them. But could you please just give me some honest feedback about my videos, the quality, how I can make them better, things of that nature. And so you got to get these strategic partnerships kind of figured out ahead of time a little bit. Search around a little bit, find some other people on YouTube that are in your local area that are going after maybe even your same target market, which would be awesome. Also, though, make sure you're already priming the pump for kind of these strategic partnerships with friends and family and other connections, and say, hey, I'm starting my YouTube channel. I'm going to ask that you please watch every video. I'm doing these first 10 videos. Please watch every single one of them. They're not very long, but I really want to get your feedback on my channel. Also, it'll really help me if a lot of people are viewing my videos. And the difference in your local market, seriously, the difference between you having a YouTube video with 10 views and one that has 100 views is a big deal. I mean, that's a big difference. That can mean the difference between you actually getting on Google.com's search page when someone searches for what you offer and not getting on there. And so it's a big deal. So every view matters at the beginning. You're just trying to get lots of views. And so get those strategic partnerships in place, and then you're ready to start making your videos, which I'm talking about in step number 5. how keywords really work. So the way that Google and YouTube treat searches is that when somebody searches for something, they look first of all for the most relevant video. Okay? So if I search for how to set up a hamster wheel, okay? And I'm like, how do I set up a hamster wheel? Well, here's what's going to happen. YouTube or Google is going to look through all the YouTube videos. And in a millisecond, they're going to look at all the videos and they're going to start by saying, is there a video entitled How to Set Up a Hamster Wheel? Like, that's the exact title of the video. If it is, even if that video only has like 100 views or 200 views or 50 views, it's probably going to be at the top of the search results, even though right below it there's a video called your first, how to handle your first hamster, and that one has 10,000 views. Okay, even though that video is there and probably contains better content, the fact that there's a video that has a title that is identical to what the person is searching for is going to make that video go really high in the search results. All right. The next level that Google and YouTube is going to look at is this. They're going to say, is the search term exactly contained inside of the title of the video? Okay. So, for instance, if I said, set up a hamster wheel, all right, and there was a video called 10 steps to set up a hamster wheel, that would be a video that would rank pretty high. It's not exactly the same because it has some extra words, but the words that I'm searching for are in the title exactly. It's an exact match of that keyword. So again, you're kind of tricking the system a little bit because even though you don't have all of the views that you should have to really rank high, you have that exact search term that is in the title. Okay? Now, if that doesn't work, then at that point, YouTube and Google start looking for more in terms of views. And now they're like, okay, we have usually 10 videos that are a pretty close match to what this person was searching for, like the one I told you earlier, how to get started with your first hamster. That would probably talk about setting up a hamster wheel. So, there's that video, and then there's like 15 others that are a close match. Well, now with a close match, now what they're doing is now they're looking at how many views are there. So let me help you out with something, okay? You're now making your YouTube channel, you're figuring out your first 10 videos. Let me tell you something. You are never, at least not for a long time, gonna rank if Google and YouTube get all the way to that third category, okay? Because there are general videos that are gonna have 100,000 views or even 1 million views that are gonna be related to what people are searching for when they're looking for your services. In order for you to get ranked, in order for people to find you, you've got to have an exact match. Either the title exactly matches their search keyword, or their keyword is contained exactly in your title. So it's time for you to really, really get creative here and make sure that your video matches those keywords. So to make those first 10 videos, you've got to think about what people are going to search for, and then think about how can you get that search term to match exactly in the title. So that's kind of part one of step number 5, which is understand what people are searching for, which hopefully you've already got that list. The second part of it is now you have to make the title to contain that keyword, but to also be something that people want to click on that says, I can solve your problem. So many times you want to add something to the beginning of that keyword like how to or 5 steps to. So you got the keyword, right? So if I wanted to make sure my video was the top one when somebody searched for set up a hamster wheel, then I might make a video called 3 easy steps to set up a hamster wheel. Because now I have that exact keyword to set up a hamster wheel, but I've got the thing in front of it that says, 5 easy steps. Well, that's going to, first of all, it's going to come up in the search results because it's an exact match. But then also it's going to make the person searching want to click on it because they're like, oh, 5 easy steps. Cool. Or I might say, how to set up a hamster wheel, right? Whatever it is. You get the idea, right? So you want to have some really creative copy at the beginning that's like that call to action that tells them, I can solve your problem in this 3-minute video, right? So you got to identify what those problems are. So go ahead and take some time, and this might take you an hour, 2 hours before you come back to the next video. That's fine. You got to now work through and figure out what are going to be my first 10 videos, and you got to figure out the keyword, and then you have to add in those names. So you can go through the workbook and go ahead and create those first 10 video titles that you're going to be shooting. Then we're going to go to step number 6, when you're actually going to shoot your 10 videos. Hi, my name is James Shepard, and I'd like to welcome you to this special course on how you can use YouTube in order to get warm, local sales leads as a sales representative or a sales office, really no matter what you're selling. Now, I have a YouTube channel with over 600,000 views, and so I've had an opportunity to build a YouTube channel really from the ground up. And what I want to talk to you about in this course today is, first of all, I really want to eliminate this misconception that you have to have TV style quality in order to create a YouTube channel and in order to create YouTube videos. Right now, I'm standing in a studio, and if you zoomed out a little bit, you would see a light above me. You'd see 3-point lighting and a white screen and audio and all of these things that make a really high quality video, because that's what I'm able to do that now. But when I started my YouTube channel, I started with a little tiny webcam, and I had sitting in my house with my bookshelf behind me, and those videos got me started on YouTube, got me 5, 6, 7, 10,000 views, many of them, and that's what really kind of got my YouTube channel started. And so today, I'm really going to start by eliminating this misconception about how, I could never start a YouTube channel because I just don't have all of the equipment, I don't have all of this, HD quality stuff. The reality in today's market is that if you have a smartphone and a very basic video editing software like the one that actually comes with YouTube now, you can go to youtube.com and they actually have a video editing software built into the website. With just those two things, also with a little tripod, which I'll show you later, that holds your phone with a little phone holder, that's really all you need, and you can start an authentic YouTube channel that's really going to allow you to connect with people on YouTube. The other really good news is that because there is this misconception that, the level of creativity and, technology that has to be there to create a YouTube channel is so high, there's this misconception. And so the great news is that if you create a YouTube channel built around your local market, you can dominate the search results in your local market. Keep in mind, YouTube is owned by Google. And so if your YouTube video ranks high enough based on the number of views, which I'll talk to you about later in this video, then guess what? You're going to come up at the top of the search results. And so you see all these kind of scam companies out there saying, well, if you do my 5-step plan, we're going to rock the SEO because we're going to trick Google. In my mind, trying to trick a room full of Google engineers, not really the best strategy. Instead, I'm going to show you how to create targeted content that's aimed at the people who are actually searching for the things that you want to sell them. And then we're going to create a YouTube channel around that that's authentic, that's simple to set up, and of course, it's going to get you warm leads. Now, let me kind of give you one little provision here about YouTube. YouTube is not your quick fix. Now, in my other courses like Twitter and LinkedIn, for instance, I showed you how to get 10, 20, 30 leads pretty much within a week or two from those platforms. Now, the interesting thing is, those leads are what I would call warm leads. In other words, you have a reason to go to the business, but I wouldn't really say they're hot leads. In other words, On Twitter and LinkedIn, you're not necessarily generating leads of people that are like, oh yeah, I'm really interested, please come talk to me. Instead, you're generating leads where people are saying things like, yeah, I know so-and-so, we should meet, or you're connecting with them and then you're just walking in off the street and saying, hey, I saw you're connected with so-and-so on LinkedIn. So those are what I would call warm leads. YouTube takes a little while to get going. Could take you 60 to 90 days to get your first lead on YouTube. And in the meantime, it's kind of frustrating because you're putting all this time and effort in and your videos have like 5 views, 10 views, 20 views. And so it takes a little while to build up, but here's the cool thing about it. Once that YouTube channel gets going, the quality of the leads, nothing can match the quality of the YouTube lead. It's going to be the hottest lead that you'll get no matter what social channel we're talking about in this series on social media sales generation. YouTube is going to create your best leads because they're going to be search engine generated. So think of YouTube more as a search engine than as a social network. Certainly it has a social component about comments and things we can talk about later, but primarily it's a search engine, and I'm going to teach you how to basically create the ultimate package of YouTube videos for the search results where you want to come up at the top of the rankings. And so when people call you or email you or go to your website from YouTube as a sales representative or a sales office, those leads are going to be hot, hot, hot. Those people are going to be calling or emailing saying, I saw your video, I'm interested, could you send somebody out? That's the kind of leads that you generate on YouTube. So let's go ahead and get started.